this is my epoch. Okay, so right before I started the live stream, all of a sudden I just got this huge like hunger attack. I already had breakfast, but apparently I need to have a second breakfast. So apparently I'm part hobbit. So, anyways, guys, what we're going to be talking about today is a lot of different things. One of the main things is we're going to be talking about the fact that Sam and I will be heading to Pensacola, and we will be leaving in about 2 weeks because that was when I found the least expensive ticket. So the it would have been like 50 some odd dollars, but I found one for like $38 or something along those lines. And so it's like, well, yeah, we're gonna take it, and we'll actually be able to get there. It's good. The weird thing is it's only like a 4 hour bus ride at most, but it's gonna take us about almost 8 hours, 9 hours to get there, which kind of sucks. But we're gonna have a huge layover in Lake City. But I'm hoping that that Sam and I will be able to go to the beach, and when we go to the beach, I mean. I don't think she's ever been to the beach. At least she's never been to the beach with me. So before you guys ask him, I make it. It's a Philadelphia cream cheese bagel. I will probably end up munching on it a little bit, but that whole hiker hunger thing, it's a really weird and how it comes about, because I've been eating nonstop for 2 days. So just to kind of tell you how I got this hotel room. So the night it was like 28 degrees, and Sam and I, man, yeah, she was not very pleasant about the cold temperature. So I actually made it warmer. We were actually cooking under the sleeping bag in an extra blanket, and but the thing is she got so warm that she came halfway out of the blanket, ended up freezing me out. I woke up, I couldn't feel my hands, couldn't feel my feet, because it was 28 degrees. And so, Sam and I are in the dorm trying to thaw out. And my old man gives me a call. She's like, it's cold out. I'm going to get you and Sam a hotel room for a couple of days. And that way you guys can get in and stay in where it's warm. And, I didn't realize how much we actually needed this hotel room until we got here, because it was as soon as the warmth and the comfort kicked in, it was like all of a sudden my eyes started burning because I was so tired. I guess when it gets really cold, you don't sleep as deep as you think you do, especially when you're dealing with a dog, because the up and down, and then the way that she turns, and she likes to stretch out, and when she stretches out, she takes the sleeping bag and blanket and just kind of pushes it all off you. So next thing you know, you are exposed. And so Sam and I have been here for 2 days. We're getting ready to check out here in just a minute. And for those of you that are here watching, I say I got a couple of you here. Go ahead and say hi in chat so I know who's here. And we'll keep going. So what are our plans once we get to Pensacola? I here's some cool things that are going on for me, and Sam, because she's with me, she gets to directly benefit from it. But this month I'm just a few dollars short, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make it on my own. But I'm a few dollars short of getting my third payout in a row. Now that I'm getting once I hit that third payout, then it's going to kind of change my whole financial situation, because now I have something as a baseline to build upon and keep going. All right. Hey, Ricky, nice to see you, man. I hope you're staying warm. Hey, glad to see you, Bushcraft. Hey, Jeremy, good to see you as well. So, all right, we got the gang here. All we're missing is Tomcat. So, speaking of, before I forget, so actually, because they have a business center here, I could go use the computer. I went over and I started doing a lot of the back office stuff for the channel. And so I actually have a section on my channel page that has recommended channels that you should watch. So all of you that are content creators that I'm aware of, or that I can remember are content creators, you are in that recommended list. So Bushcraft, Hobo Thomas, let's see, Tomcat, I know I'm missing a few, but there are quite a few. And if you're not on that list, just send me an email with your with your channel, and I will go in and add it as soon as I get back onto a computer, which will be in the next day or two, because Sam and I are going to be heading up to Grace. We got today our package. I didn't think it was going to arrive today because it was still in Orlando at like midnight last night. And I'm like, yeah, I probably won't be here till like Wednesday. Turns out it's going to be out for delivery today. I think I haven't checked the tracking number yet, but Friday's video is going to be a gear review of everything that a subscriber has sent to me and Sam as a care package. So just so you know what we're getting an action camera with a chest mount. So as we're walking and doing trails or rails, or as we're traveling, I'll be able to give you kind of like a POV view of things. It has a microphone on it. I'm not sure if it comes with a microphone or if it just comes with a microphone, like the camera has just a built-in microphone. But now I may get to be able to use my Rode mic that I've had and I really am not using very much. And then also we've got an underquilt coming for the hammock. That is extremely important because the hammock's so thin that a good breeze, especially when it's cool and cold at night, I mean, it makes it really hard to stay warm. So that's going to be like an under blanket to be able to keep us warm so that, I don't have to sleep on the ground on the cold nights. And then let's see, I've got a couple of shirts, a pair of pants, a pair of hiking boots, and a rain fly for the hammock. So Sam and I are pretty much set up. The only thing that we are really looking at getting, and Bushcraft and Paranoid. Oh yes, Paranoid is also on that recommendation. He's my navigator, but I'm trying to figure out. So I want to get a solar. I want to get a solar charger because I don't want to be tied to cities and stuff like that. Now I'm looking at something that's going to be 5-6 panels because I learned with my little, well, it was a tiny little battery pack. I mean, it would have taken like 3 days to be able to charge up. It was a pain in the ass. And so it kind of got me to the point where I'm like, nah, I'm not sure I want to deal with solar. But after seeing what Prophet had, I want something similar to that. Which is something you just attach to your backpack and you plug it in, you plug whatever devices you need to have plugged in, and then you just walk down the trail, walk down the road, and you're getting that charge because it's free energy in a lot of ways. But Paranoid recommended one to me from Walmart that's like $25-$30, and it's an 80 amp. It's like 5 or 6 panels, and I can hang it from my backpack. Okay, now I can also go and for a little bit more money, for about $65 on Amazon, I can get a solar panel that's very similar, but it's like, I think it's like 38 watts or something like that. So I'm not exactly sure how the watts work and how everything works. I need to be able to charge my cell phone. I need to be able to charge my camera. Those are the two things that I'm really needing to make sure to keep charged at all times. And so I'm not exactly sure how to decipher what is a quality one, what is not a quality solar charger and stuff like that. So if any of you guys have any information on any of that, I could definitely use some of your input because, I need to be able to have that power as far as content creation goes. Okay, and so by the time we leave Pensacola, that is the last piece of gear that I think that I need. Now, as far as what's coming today or maybe tomorrow, I'm gonna kind of rearrange my bag, so on and so forth, and we're gonna figure some things out. I still have not heard anything about food stamps, which is kind of strange considering it's been, let's see, I did it on the 9th and this is like so it's been 2 weeks and I got another 2 weeks until the 30 days is up. As far as that, but we can also get it transferred to Pensacola. That's another reason why we're going to Pensacola is I want to make sure that I have that little bit of safety net there, so that I can make sure that Sam can eat, that I can eat, and that we're, because I mean, going and food is probably one of the biggest expenses that you're going to have when you're out on the road. And if you are not being not responsible, if you're not being smart with how you spend your money, so going to places like Dollar General, or going to some place like Aldi's, and getting inexpensive food that will suffice you, because you're going to pay a lot less than you will if you go to Publix or HEB, or Safeway or Albertsons or any of those other places, because they have a premium markup for their reasons. Okay, and so as a traveler, Dollar General is usually the most it's like that sanctuary, to be able to go get all the food that you need at a reasonable price. And that's why I can buy about 3 days worth of food for about $20, and that includes kibble for Sam as well. And I figured out ways to be able to make things work and operate within that budget. Whereas if I went to somewhere like Publix or Winn-Dixie or HEB, Albertsons, Safeway, depending upon what part of the country you're in, I could very easily spend $35 to $45 for the same amount of food, which then I just don't have the budget for something like that. So that's just something that we are, or that I'm considering, is we need to make sure that we actually have that as a safety net. Now, I'm learning some interesting things also about being a content creator, and I will talk about this a little bit, because I read the comments, and I have a video coming out Thursday. So there was a comment saying, well, what service does Sam provide for you? So I did it as a final explanation. I'm not going to explain this anymore. I don't have to explain myself. I'm keep myself within the legal requirements, because even if other people don't want to follow the law, I do my best to be as good of a law-abiding citizen as possible. Just because I'm out here doesn't give me an excuse to consistently break the law. Now, there are some laws out there that are just downright malicious to the average person who's traveling, for various reasons, and a lot of it has to do with like camping and things like that. Now, a lot of the home bums have destroyed that for us travelers, because what they like to do is they'll set up a tent, and the next thing you know, they start hoarding, and the next thing you know, you got trash everywhere. And so somebody like me who comes in, doesn't trash the place, leaves no trace, picks up my camp every day. When the police come by and see me, I'm lumped in with those home bums that are just literally destroying the area in which they're in for various reasons. It is what it is. Okay, so I'm giving you guys an opportunity. This is more of a live Q&A, talking about heading off to Pensacola, what our goals are, what we want to do. Now, I'm hoping that, because we're gonna be there by the 10th. I'm not going to give an exact date right now. Again, this goes back to what I've been learning over the last couple of days. I actually had to deal with the police. Just kind of not the police weren't called on me. I actually had to file a report. And and being a content creator, it kind of leaves you open and kind of leaves you vulnerable. And after some of the comments and some of the things that I have seen, there comes a point when you kind of have to step back and go, okay, I'm here for a specific reason. So why am I here on YouTube? I'm here on YouTube because I think that I have valuable information to be able to share with people about how to be able to not only survive as a homeless person, or as a traveler who is houseless, because there is a difference. I mean, I'm choosing not to get housed up versus being a home bum and just being homeless because I just can't afford a house. There's a subscriber actually explained that in the comments. I'm like, yeah, that makes actual real sense to me. So yeah, I guess I can kind of wrap my head around that. But as a public figure, because being here on YouTube, I'm considered a public figure. The amount of craziness that you get to deal with, you have mentally unstable individuals who are making comments and just kind of trolling or instigating it, and then afterwards they're like, yeah, let's go have a beer. It's like, no, 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 there's something wrong up here. And as somebody who travels and wants to be able to meet with my subscriber base and things like that, I'm beginning to wonder if that is something that that I should consider doing, or if I should just kind of take that off of the table. I mean, I will meet some that I've developed a relationship with over time. Because there are some of you that we email back and forth, we chit chat back and forth on Patreon and things like that. Those people, yes, but for the average subscriber, I probably am going to refrain from doing group meetups just because of because of me being a YouTuber or a public figure. The lack of protections that I have against those that are unstable, volatile, batshit crazy, whatever. Okay, and I guess doing what we do here on YouTube, we're going to attract people like that. And the thing is, what really bothers me about this whole situation is that it's considered acceptable. Like, well, I guess you shouldn't be in the public. No, if you want to be in the public, you should be able to be allowed in the public, and there should be some form of decorum in the way in which we treat each other. I don't attack my subscribers. I don't get malicious or call them out in a negative manner. Most of the time, if not all of the time, if I do call you out, it's because you said something that sparked a good conversation that was actually worth talking about, and so therefore I kind of expect the same in return. It goes back to what you do to others, others will do to you. And so, I try and keep it respectful. But if other people decide, well, I don't want to be respectful and I want to, be disruptive or whatever they try and do, well, they just get to be a giant wrecking ball. And I'm told, well, I guess you shouldn't be in the public if you can't deal with it. And that's not the fact that we are socially accepting this as a society, as a community. It really says volumes about kind of where we are as a society, not only mentally but socially. Because I don't know. I guess my grandparents. You were the biggest insult you could get from in my family on my mom's side was that you were classless. Or that you had no class, because my grandfather being a World War II vet, and my mom kind of taking on his style as far as the way that she raised me. That was, if you didn't conduct yourself appropriately, you brought shame upon the family and upon those that had nothing to do with it. And therefore, that was not acceptable within the family. But we have gotten so out of control as a society that we don't even actually consider that anymore. The things in which I do, because, for example, my old man, he paid for the room for 2 days, him and my stepmom. Well, that means that I can't just come in here and destroy it. I can't, smoke in the room, even though, because I'm not paying for it. What do I care, right? No, I can't do those things because, within my social network, within my community, that's not acceptable. It's considered classless. You have no class if you do stupid stuff like that. It's considered an insult. Okay. So getting back on the topic of Pensacola, again, our main thing is we're gonna go and we're gonna enjoy the eye candy on the beaches. By the time mid-February comes around, the lows should be in the 50s. Right now, the lows are in the 50s here. We're finally out of that cold spell. And then from this point forward, we're looking at highs in the 80s starting next week. It went from freezing cold, somebody needs to turn the air conditioning off, to, oh my God, who turned on the heater? Can we kind of turn it down? It's crazy. And living outside this is wreaking havoc on the average person's immune system that lives outside for these reasons. I mean, hot and cold, hot and cold. You guys hear me? I'm still kind of coming back from I don't know if it's a cold or if I got the crud, but now that we're getting to more stable temperatures as we get towards spring, especially here in Florida, it's going to be a lot better. We just want to be able to stay warm. One thing I'm learning about Sam is that she doesn't like the cold. She is definitely a Florida dog. When we get up in the Rockies, she is not going to be doing well. Okay, so I have another video coming out. I think it's coming out tomorrow. It is about the going off grid and some of the things that you guys should consider. And so I kind of want to set that up because I would love to hear your guys' feedback. Have any of you gone off grid for an extended period of time? If you have, what is it that you've learned? What is it that you can pass on to me? And then I can share with the rest of the community, or at least put it into practice to improve my overall situation. So if any of you guys have any questions or anything else like that, would definitely like to ask. But I'm gonna take a bite of my oh. So one thing I gotta say about the hotel that we're in. So my old man, he was talking. He was like, "Hey, we want to get you a place where it's a continental breakfast, so you don't have to spend money out of pocket." So this room costs about $20 more than it should, but we also got a continental breakfast. And again, I've been getting the money's worth out of this, and I gotta tell you, the continental breakfast, they had corned beef hash. They had corned beef hash. They got biscuits and gravy. They got cereal. They got eggs. They got sausage. They got muffins. They even got hard-boiled eggs. Let's see. I mean, I'm talking about. I've never been to a hotel that has this good of a continental breakfast. Usually, it's a few of those things, but I've never had corned beef hash at a hotel until this time. So on and so forth. So, do any of you guys have any questions? Anything that you would like to ask me about, or anything else like that? Now, while I'm waiting to see some questions, there was a question that I was asked earlier today in today's video release. I was asking me, well, why you seem like you're put together, you're doing fine, as far as mental and physical. You don't look like you have a lot of issues. Why are you homeless? And a lot of people, I explained to them, it's like, well, I had a business, and at the end of 21, due to what was going on at the southern border, I had to close my business down. And we were getting shot at on the way to our appointments. I had 2 weeks to shut down my business because nobody wanted to work, because nobody's willing to go get shot at in order to make a dollar. You can't pay a person enough for that. I mean, you choose to go in the military and you're going to get shot at. You go and clean buildings, the last thing you think about is, I'm going to get shot at. And so, I mean, I totally understood. And just the way that things kind of went. Now, a lot of people will go, well, why don't you just go get a job? Just because businesses go out of business. Well, here's the thing. There's more to it than that. Okay, I didn't lose my business because of poor business practices. I had so much work, I had to turn it down. I couldn't hire people, not because of not having enough work, but because of all the things that go on in the border states. So, for example, in Texas, you have 25% of all businesses that are owned by undocumented. Okay, and they stick in three major fields, which is construction, landscaping, and cleaning. Okay, the women go clean the houses, the men go clean the buildings. Okay, and so when you got these guys that can come in there, their people will accept $7 an hour to get paid, and come in there and work their butt off for $7 an hour. But yet I had people coming up going, no, I want $20 an hour. Well, I couldn't charge because I'm competing with people that can do it for $7 an hour, I couldn't charge more than 15. And that was a struggle to be able to get from people, because a lot of these businesses, they would rather hire the illegals and deal with the fines because of the money in which they save, versus hiring an American owned, locally owned business. And you know, this is something that you have to that you have to deal with. So it wasn't that I couldn't, it wasn't that I wasn't offering people pay. I just wasn't willing to pay them more than what I was getting paid for the contract. And so, you know, you got people going, well, I want $20 an hour to push a broom. I'm like, you ain't getting $20 an hour to push a broom. You're lucky I'm offering you like 14. And you know, and I'm still losing money on it, but I will start making it up in future contracts. But I couldn't go in the hole just to be able to hire somebody because they thought that they were worth more than what they were. It's skilled job, but only certain parts of it are skilled. So if you know how to do floor care, yeah, I'll pay you $15 an hour, no problem. But if you don't know how to do floor care, you're not worth more than 10, 11 tops. Okay. Now with inflation and the way everything else is going, it is what it is. So a lot of people will say, well, okay, so you lost your business. 100,000 businesses go out of business every year. Well, no, because of what was going on during the pandemic and everything post-apocalypse is what I like to call it. We lost 50% of our small businesses. There's actually a couple of subscribers, I think Bushcraft is one of them, and there's maybe a couple more who have been through a very similar situation as me in losing everything that they had. And we lost a huge amount of our economic stability, because small businesses is what makes up the economy, not these large businesses. The large businesses, I think, make up no more than 10 to 15% of our economy. The other 80% is small businesses, and maybe another 5% would be solopreneurs or freelancers, stuff like that. Okay, so we lost 50% of our small businesses. This was unprecedented. This was a black swan event. It was something that really was not. There was no way to be able to protect yourself for it. There was nothing that you can do. How do I prevent my people from getting shot at on the way to an appointment? You know, what can I do as a business owner? No, this is a failure of government. A failure of government to be able to provide safety and security so that we can conduct commerce. And this is what's really going on the southern border in a lot of these border states. And a lot of these northern states are finally starting to get the idea of what's really, really going on. Okay, and so once you've worked for yourself, it's almost like a step backwards to go and work for someone else. One, two. When people say that to me, it just shows me that they have what I consider the employee mentality. Just most people, they don't want to take the risk. They don't want to go out there and they don't want to put in the effort. And they don't have enough confidence in their ability to succeed. So therefore, they don't go out there and start a business. That's why being a small business owner is as big of a deal as it is, because what you're saying is, I believe in myself and I'm willing to take the risk and bet on myself that I can go out there and I can get things done. Now, am I not working? Do I not have a job? Actually, I am working and I do have a job. I'm at work right now. This is what I do for a living now, is I am using my knowledge to be able to educate those that may be facing similar situations that I am or that I have, so that they can better navigate and have a much better experience versus what I've had to deal with over the last 25 years. Okay, so that's just something to consider. And so yes, I am working. I do have a job, and yes, I am building a business, because you know YouTube is a business model. Now, most people, they don't understand the business model because they're in an employee mentality. But as a business, you know, when I owned my janitorial business, I was monetizing my clients. You know, when somebody called me and said, I want work, well, yes, that means you're going to pay me. Okay, well, on YouTube, you have a different way of being able to monetize your audience. And this is very, very important. for those that are considering becoming content creators or are content creators and struggling. This is a business model, and there are various ways in which you monetize your audience. When you guys watch, you guys, there's 5 of you that's watching this video right now. Okay, that's watching this live stream. Okay, so every time an ad pops up, I make money off of that. You're being monetized. Okay, any channel that you watch, every time an ad pops up, the content creator is getting paid for it, and that is how you're being monetized. Now the thing is you as the end consumer, you are the product. Okay, because the thing is at least on the digital platforms and in the digital economy, uh, you know the advertisers want access to you. Okay, and they're getting access to you through me. And because they're getting access to you through me to advertise to you, to put those little ads up there, okay, I get a portion of it because it's mutually beneficial. They want access to my audience, and I want to be able to monetize my audience without going, hey, can you send me money? Can you buy this? Can you do this? Can you do that? Okay, so that's one way that you as an audience are being monetized by all content creators. Okay, the second thing is your merch store. Okay, once you hit 1,000 subscribers, you get monetized. You now get a merch store. You can go to Teespring. I have it. If you guys look down there in the description, if you're doing like the whole desktop thing, you see that there's recommended products. So these are shirts that I've created that I thought people would probably be interested in. And the one that gets the most clicks is feelings aren't facts. But nobody's actually purchased one of those yet, and I'd like to invite you to, and send me a picture, and that way I can show it off and show that people do like it. Now, what I am going to be doing once I get to Pensacola is I'm going to be buying the Feelings Aren't Facts shirt. That way I can be wearing it during live streams and videos, and be able to market my merch store. Okay, so that's another way in which you are being monetized. The other way is for you guys to come over to Patreon or another independent platform. There's more than just Patreon. Patreon is just the most popular in the YouTube community. But then there are people that want to be able to have a little bit more unfettered access to you, because that's where I have most of my conversations. If it's not through there, it's through my website. I'm constantly conversating with those in the community, and so people are in some ways they're paying not only for the content, because you're paying basically $2.50 per video, or actually no, $1.25 per video. Okay, so $1.25 basically works out to a cheap beer. Okay, for each video that I put out for each individual. So therefore, there are two models. You can either do it by volume, which is the way that I think. I would rather have, I'd rather have 100 people at $5 than 20 people at $50, because am I going to make more money having less but charging more, or am I going to open up the door for as many people to be able to have access by keeping it low? Okay, so therefore this is part of the business model and the business mentality within the YouTube community. Also, now I've also talked about my website, and my website is a way for me to also monetize my community, because not only can I write articles, and I'm going to have to get back into doing that. I'm kind of adjusting and rearranging things so that I can do that. But then you guys will go and get complimentary articles that are tied to my video. And if you decide to join my mailing list, that means every time I post an article, you get to read the content and watch the video, and so on and so forth. And from that, because I have affiliate links of gear that I use, gear that I recommend, and things like that, now I can also use the mailing list as part of, okay, so now I'm sending you a video with an article, and then there may be a product in there of like, hey, I recommend this product, you should definitely try it out. Okay, so this is how every company in America works, as far as retail or service oriented. Okay, and so I'm not doing anything different than Sears or Walmart or any of these other companies. Okay, and so to tell me, oh, well, you need to go get a job is to discount the fact that I'm actually building a business. But it also tells me that you have an employee mindset, and an employee mindset does not understand all the different ways in which you can make money off of something as simple as a YouTube channel. Now, the amount of subscribers that I have, it makes a difference in certain things within the partnership program. But once you reach 10,000 or 20,000 subscribers, all those doors are open, and so therefore growing your channel past that is just it's just building more on top of more. But technically 10 to 20,000 subscribers is all you really need, because it opens up the proper doors for you so that you can make a livable income. But just like any business, I got lucky with my cleaning business because I put 20 bucks in. I made 180 bucks on my first set of leads that I put in. And then I took that money and I reinvested it. And within a couple of weeks, I was making like $3,000 a month minimum. And for about 6 years, I got to experience some form of economic stability, because I was going to make that money regardless. It just, once you've made something, it becomes easier to continuously make it. That's why now that I'm hitting 3 months in a row of 3 months in a row of getting payouts from YouTube, now that's something that I can count on, and from there I can build out. But there are those out there that say, "Oh, go get a job," and other things. It's like, no, I'm building a business, and those of you that put money in my tip jar, you're doing two things. One, you're investing in me because you find value because you find value in the content in which I provide. But you're also assisting me in sustaining myself while I go through the process of building the YouTube channel to a level at which I can become self-sufficient and no longer rely on super chats or rely on tips in my tip jar, because that's kind of how the whole thing works. It's a progression. Now, a lot of businesses, it takes about 5 years before you actually make a profit. In YouTube, it's going to take you anywhere from 2 to 3 years to get up to the 5 to 10,000 subscriber mark. And then after that, by the time you hit about the 5-year mark, that's really when your channel takes off. But the average lifespan of a YouTuber is anywhere from 10 to 15 years. It's very rare that anybody will last past the 10-year mark because of burnout, because you got to constantly do daily uploads, and you can only talk about a subject so much before you're like, man, I'm tired of beating the same dead horse. But people keep showing up because they like you, they trust you, and they value what you have to say. The other thing is that the scathing remarks, the hate and the vitriol that you get from people. Now, over on my gaming channel, I don't get any negative comments. The only negative comments I get is over here, but that's because I'm talking about what some would consider controversial subjects. Okay, so these are, this is kind of my whole business plan, my whole business model. So if you think that I'm not working, if you think I need to go get a job, I think you need to reevaluate what's going on here. And then another comment that I got, I actually had a guy tell me that that because I said what I said about Republicans, he could no longer support this. And I got to say, politics is becoming a religion. Okay, it's the Methodists versus the Protestants. Okay, i.e. Democrats versus the Republicans. It's become to a point to where it's such a religion that you can't even have a differing or alternative point of view. And I kind of feel bad for those that deal with this, that treat it like a religion, because it's not. That's part of the reason why we have the problems that we have, is because we're too busy. And me and my old man, we go round and round about this a lot. Part of the big problems that we have as a society is that we're too busy voting party line. Okay, I'm neither a Democrat nor a Republican. If I were to align anywhere, I would probably consider myself not an independent, more like a libertarian. I'm socially liberal, fiscally conservative. live. Okay, do whatever you want as long as it does no harm. Be responsible with your funds, and don't blow it on dumb stuff. Okay, that's a libertarian. They believe that you have the right to be able to do what it is that you want to do, because that's the whole premise, the birthright that we are given as being born in this country, is that we have the right of choice, the freedom to choose our own way, our own path, our own direction. But now, because of how the political spectrum has become so much, so polarized and treated like a religion, now individuals, your right of choice, your freedom of choice to be who you want to be, and to build your life the way you want to, those are being taken away from you through ideology and indoctrination, through whether it be intimidation, tactics, people, oh, loser, go get a job. Okay, well, whatever, dude. Same thing. Okay, so I think that this is something that we as a society, if we're watching it burn down around us, and these are the reasons why. Is because when an individual is left to their own devices to be able to make for themselves with minimal interference from society and from government, the person is always going to choose to go off and become successful. There is not a single person in this country that is lazy and just doesn't want to work. Oh, actually, we'll say 90% of Americans are not lazy and always want to be productive. Even me, when I owned my business, I knew that there would come a point when I got out of the field, I went into the back office, and then I got out of the back office, but I still wanted to be productive. I still wanted to work, even though my business was supporting me enough to where I didn't have to. I could sit at home and watch TV all day and get fat and whatever. But the average American wants to be productive because there's 24 hours in a day. And if all you're doing is sitting around watching TV, twiddling your thumbs, playing games, that gets boring real quick. Okay, you can only do that for so long before you're like, even my old man, I've watched him. He used to game. Now that he's retired, he's got more important things to do. He kind of, he likes to play his games, but he doesn't play them as much as he did when he was working. Okay, and it just, the average American wants to work. The average American wants to be productive. The average American wants to be able to have a semi-comfortable lifestyle where they can afford food, a roof over their head, and some basic amenities. And then they want to be able to have a little bit of a cushion in case things go wrong, or in case they want to go out and go have dinner, or go to a club, or go to a movie. And the thing is economically, we're not there anymore. Okay, economically, you can't afford that no matter how much you get paid. So why would you want to go get a job to begin with if you can't even make enough money to be able to afford to go to the movies? I mean, who in their right mind is going to want to work for that? Because you have to reward yourself for all of the hard work in what you do, whether it be a video game, whether it be a beer at the end of the night, whether it be going to the movies. You have to reward yourself for all of the sacrifices that you make in giving up your time, effort, energy, and if you're doing grunt labor, you're definitely putting your body through the grinder, and so now it's wear and tear, and you need some form of enough compensation for the damage that you're doing to your body and for the things in which you're giving up to be able to go out there and do it. And right now, the way the employment market is, apparently since in 2023, layoffs were up 98%. Okay, that's crazy. People can't afford a rent, a roof over their head, or anything like that. Okay, guys, so we're hitting about the $45 mark, or 45-minute mark. Okay, if any of you guys have questions, now's the time, because I'm going to start doing my wrap up, and then we will definitely go from there. But if I thank you guys for showing up, for watching, for listening. Usually, maybe I think I should stop doing early morning, and I'm gonna start doing more later in the evening live streams, because that seems to be when most people are available. Those of you that have the time to be able to be here, I much appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I'm glad to have you as part of my community. Okay, but if you want to help out the channel, become a subscriber. Okay, any questions that you have, leave them down in the comments. I love answering your questions, especially when it gives me an opportunity to create content around it. Okay, because what it gives me an opportunity, because other people may have that question, they just don't ask it, or they're not thinking about the question, but it was, now that it's brought up, they're like, oh yeah, I wasn't even thinking of that. Okay, so that's, you're not only helping me in creating more content, but you're helping other people that have similar questions, that may be facing similar experiences, and helping them understand what's going on around them a little bit better. Okay, so it is what it is. Okay, so don't hesitate to ask questions. That is part of what Thursday's video is going to be, is because of a comment and a question that was asked. And it's going to be the last time I ever explain why Sam's a service dog. I don't need to explain myself anymore. I'm kind of having to, every time I go through and deal with somebody that is just downright beyond malicious. All it does is it causes me to retract more and to just kind of depersonalize. And I like having a personal relationship with you guys, and I'm going to have to find my own balance there. Okay, but become a subscriber, hit that bell notification, leaving comments. Comments are the number one way to be able to push my video out to other people, because YouTube constantly changes its algorithm. And it used to be about likes, but then content creators started using, well, just don't forget to hit the like button, because it helps out in the algorithm. Well, once YouTube figures out that people are trying to game the system by doing things like that, the next thing they're gonna close that door and open up another one. And the one thing that they're really not gonna be able to close is the comment section. So leaving a comment, whether it be asking a question or just giving me your opinion on what you think, and just going from there, just be respectful. That's all I ask. Just be respectful. Nobody's here to attack anybody. This is a sanctuary and a safe place for us to sit back and share experiences and discuss ideas. Okay, but yes, leaving a comment helps out and puts it out in the algorithm. That's part of the reason why the 2 videos I put out last week got 5,000 views, was because I had so many comments. Okay, and so therefore YouTube is looking at engagement. Okay, and that's how you help this channel grow. That's how you help me out, and without having to put any money out of your pocket. Now, anything else past that, I've talked about merch store, Patreon, all that other stuff. All that stuff's down in the description. It's always down in the description. Okay, and if you go to my channel page, you can look at the other recommended channels. Go check out Bushcraft. Go check out Tomcat. Tomcat's awesome. So is Bushcraft, and so is Paranoid, and so is Hobo Thomas. I think those are the guys that I know that there's Outdoor Prepper. I can't remember his channel name, but he's been really big as part of being a part of the channel as well. And so for those of you that are content creators, I want to be able to help you, because what we're doing is if you notice, the YouTubers that have success, and Mr. Beast actually talks about this. Him and 3 other guys got together, and they started talking back and forth about all the different things in which they did, and what the reasonings were. And so as a group, they started figuring out how to be better content creators. And now those guys, they intermingle their channels and things like that. And those that are going to be successful YouTubers are going to have to network with other YouTubers, bigger channels, smaller channels, and same size channels. Okay, because we're all sharing viewers. There's 4 billion people that watch this. 10,000 subscribers is nothing. Okay, when you're talking about 4 billion users. Okay, so but everything else is down in the description. And again, thank you guys for showing up. Bushcraft, give me about 15 minutes or so, because I gotta finish putting a couple of things in my bag, such as my charging stuff. And then I gotta go check out of the room. And then I sent you my phone number. If I did not, oh, well, I know I did. If you didn't get that, let me know now, or if you actually have my phone number, because we're gonna chat, and I would love to collaborate with you, Bushcraft, because we're in a very similar niche, and you have you talk about things that are things that I'm learning from you. Okay, so in a lot of ways, and I'm learning from every one of you guys. But we're all in this together. It's about building community. It's about building relationships. And that way, when things do go south, see, most preppers, they want to be independent. They want to be solo. They want to be the lone wolf. Well, I'm telling you, you will not survive what is coming unless you can work with individuals. And some of these individuals you may not like, but you have common goals and things in common to where you guys can find places of compromise. We'll just say that. Okay. So, it's important that we start doing that. I'm trying to get that going on my Patreon. I don't know if you guys could give me some tips on how to get that going. Because I mean, the chat function, it's already set up. I've already set it in there, but nobody's really using it. And I would really like to have people using that, because I think that, we're going to need to network, especially as the supply chain breaks down, as everything else breaks down. We're going to need to network, because you might have some supplies that I need, and I have some supplies that you need, and I can mail some to you, you can mail some to me, and then we all got what we need, and we're all taken care of, versus like, oh well, I got this and I'm just going to keep it to myself. Well, you may be hurting yourself, maybe not, maybe unknowingly, but you're slowing down your potential progress. Okay, so thanks for watching, guys. Thank you for being part of my channel. Thank you for everything that you guys do, and I will see you guys in the next live stream. The Friday video, because I still have one slot open for Friday, is going to be the unboxing of the